It's not like here. It's not a cold country, right? So let's observe whether this is immoral or immoral. You're British? Both of you are British or just him? Okay, sure. The legal age of marriage in the 1800s, in 1770 specifically, what was the legal age of marriage in Britain?
What year?
1770. So before you answer, ignore 1400 years ago. We're talking about 200 years ago, right? What was the legal age of marriage? Legal age of marriage, that means that was the norm of the society. Right? Not one person doing something wrong, like King Richard II or otherwise married 6 years old. No, we're talking about the norm, the law, what was set in place for people. What was the legal age of marriage? Do you know the number specifically?
I think, I'm not 100% sure, maybe, but I know it was younger than 16.
As a guess, what, 14, maybe 13?
7 years old. 7 years old. Do you know according to who? That means your great-great-great-great-grandfather, your great-great-great-great, and my great-great, no problem, I have no problem. And my great-great already did that. So that is according to William Blackstone in his book Commentaries on the British Law. He's not a Muslim.
But was it practiced within British culture?
Definitely. He is writing. If you study law in England, you will know William Blackstone. Definitely. Right? In his book Commentaries on the British Law. Do you know why they were doing that? They had low life expectancy. They used to die early. If they didn't multiply and get married early, they would be extinct. By definition.
You wouldn't have sex with a 7-year-old.
Me?
No, generally speaking.
No, marriage is marriage. It was not Islamic marriage, it was British marriage. So it was consummation and everything. But what you see today of 7 years, I'll tell you the problem. The problem is of what you see today of 7 years old, you're applying that to the past, which is presentism, is a fallacy. You cannot apply the moral values of today or what you see of women today to the past,
but
right?
the human body would be the same today as it was 14 years ago. So a 9-year-old is not developed
in Britain,
in such a way.
Sure. 9-year-old is definitely in the deserts of Arabia. In Britain, I wouldn't know. But I'm just giving you the understanding why they used to do that, right? They used to do that because they had low life expectancy. You will not be born, no one will be born, we'll all be extinct. They used to go in wars. People used to get killed, right? War was the norm. You grow up, you go to war, you come back, right? That was the norm of the society, right? So the human body does mature. Islamically, this is the criteria for you to marry a woman. She is menstruating, she is physically mature, she reaches the age of puberty, and she is psychologically mature. According to who? According to the same Prophet.
Was she psychological?
I will answer that
Because
definitely.
there's a hadith where she was playing with her dolls.
Definitely, I will answer that as well, right? Psychologically mature and physically mature. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad says, La darara wa la darara. This is the criteria. We don't have an age, set age, because every day it changes. Today women are not mature, even 17, 18, right?
The fact that in a hadith
I will
mentions
answer.
her
I will answer.
dolls,
I will answer.
psychologically she can't be mature.
I will answer. I'll tell you why it does. What was the means of entertainment for the children 1400 years ago?
Well, it wasn't PS2, was it?
No.
They did not have any means of entertainment except these kind of things. So the reason she's playing with it or she doesn't play with it, there is 16, 17, there is old women today, you can go on YouTube, they still play with dolls, right? Her playing with a doll does not prove anything, right? They still exist, open your phone and research it, right? But that was the means of entertainment 1400 years ago. They did not have a PlayStation 2, they did not have Ghost Up, they did not have phones, internet,
As you
Facebook.
mature, you would surely not want
No,
to play
if that was she was a girl, she's not a guy, right?
Sure.
Playing with a doll does not take from her femininity, right? She can play with a doll and she can be an adult. That
Isn't
is
there a
completely...
point where you stop playing with dolls?
Women don't, I'm sorry, but women don't play with dolls.
Some women.
Let's ask a woman.
Some women.
At what point?
Would you play with it? Would you, at your age now? I don't know how, but would you play with dolls?
Dolls. Do you know what doll? Yeah,
you know dolls?
sure. Would you judge a woman that plays with a doll that she's immature? Thank you. So let's come back. So let's come back to our point. It does not prove.
20-year-old would be playing.
Now you're trying to influence her decision. Now you're trying to.
You're trying to make it clear.
can we add something to that? That they were 1400 years ago. They did not have means of entertainment of today. They did not have PlayStation 2, Facebook,
No, but
Twitter,
they
whatever
had,
it is.
they had
Now
other ways of entertainment.
I want her to answer. So, would you say that a woman is not mature just because she's yeah.
My age.
Yeah, in your age, 1400 years ago, in your age, no means of entertainment. I don't know your age differently, but
Hold on, you can't
would you
say
say psychologically
You
immature?
you don't know
Will you
why.
make that statement?
No, not
Okay.
at that age.
Okay, that is
Maybe in our days, we like.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is an unbiased view. She's not Muslim, right? I'm
Yeah,
just
but you don't.
confirming.
No, but
She's not Muslim.
you're saying that they had no entertainment back then, other than playing with dolls.
Look. I'll tell you
How
something.
do you know
Chris,
what
Chris,
entertainment they had?
Chris, you wanted.
Did you stop playing with dolls?
Wait. You're 2 on 1 now.
At what age?
Let's wait for a second.
10, maybe. I never had those. I was just like.
Many people don't play with those. But look, Chris here wanted to bring an external opinion. It was not me. And now you don't want to external opinion that you brought. It's unfair, right? Let's come back to our discussion, right? So playing with dolls does not determine your maturity, right? They did not have at that time,
So they had
Today
no
it might-
So you're
today
saying
it
that they
might,
had
but
no
I
other
still-
entertainment
Sure.
than playing with
Let
dolls?
me finish the statement.
No, you
right?
said that.
No.
They had no other entertainment
Did I say
other than
that?
playing with dolls.
I said they had limited means of internet. This is what I said. Look, don't play with my words, even your friends. Okay, coming back to the point that I was talking about, right? Even today, if a woman is playing with dolls, I will not judge her maturity. That is her thing. People have hobbies, right? All people today have the strangest hobbies that you can imagine, right? It does not undermine from their maturity, right? So that is not a point for you to. And you're removing the statement where she said she was adult herself. You don't want to accept that point, right? She lived for years after the death of Prophet Muhammad. She never complained, she never said anything, right? So coming back to that point, people used to get married early because it was the norm of the society. No one at that time spoke about that. One of the wives of Prophet Muhammad, her name was Safiya, right? She was from the Jewish tribe, right? Safiya got married when she was 10 before she married Prophet Muhammad afterwards. So that was the norm of the society. It was not something limited to Prophet Muhammad doing, right? And definitely it was not immoral in this situation in their lifetime, right? Today is a different story. Today there is kindergarten, middle school, secondary school. Women do not get mature as much as they used to do. They don't deal with adults straight away. They're confined in a place where they're only praying with children of their age, right? So that is where they get information or mature from, right? Now, let's move on to the second point. The second point was about the marriage of his adopted son, right? Okay, Zayd ibn Haritha, yeah? This is mentioned in the Quran, by the way. It's not just in the hadith. How did the story go? How does the story go? Do you know? Okay. So that proves my point, that you were taking hearsays of people. So that's why I told you do not. This was my point of this discussion, right?
Did it happen? Did he marry her?
I will explain differently. But I want to highlight this point because it's an important point. Don't just pick up hearsay from people, right? And do not go research yourself. The Quran says what? Zayd had a wife, which was Zainab, right? Zainab bin Jahsh, yeah? Zayd was not happy with his wife. He wanted to divorce her, right? According to the Quran, not according to me.
Bring it up in the Quran.
I will bring it.
Bring it up.
Will you admit you're wrong if I bring it?
Sorry?
Will you admit that you're wrong if I bring it?
Yeah.
Because you will laugh.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, sure. Be honest, yeah? So he used to come to Prophet Muhammad and he say, I want to divorce my wife, and the Prophet tells him, keep your wife. أمسك عليك زوجك واتق الله. I will show you right now. Because you have not looked enough in this in order for you
Is this
to...
his son-in-law, yeah?
Sorry?
His son-in-law.
This is Zayd, yeah. Is him, yeah.
Because from what I read...
Is him.
Remember the teachings of Jesus? He wasn't pleased with divorce. And there's only one reason that you could divorce.
Yeah,
and that's
fornication.
Fornication.
Yeah.
But
So...
then, once you divorce, you can't remarry.
Unless the person is dead, yeah.
Yeah. So how would that apply with this verse here?
Sure. Now coming back to there's a lot of translations here. Okay, 33, 30, 37, yeah? Sure. Let's read. 37, no, is this one? Yeah, okay. Look. This is many translations, not just one, yeah? وَإِذْ تَقُولُ لِلَّذِي أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِ أَمْسِكْ عَلَيْكَ زَوْجَكَ وَاتَّقِ اللَّهِ. Okay. And remember, O Muhammad, read with me, yeah? When you said to the one whom Allah bestowed favor, and you bestowed favor on, by meaning by taking him in your house, keep your wife, and what?
Fear Allah.
You agree with me now that you were wrong?
But that doesn't mean he wanted to get rid of his wife.
Why is he telling him keep your wife?
Because he saw
Now you're-
that one
you-
second,
okay,
hold on,
go ahead.
and I've read about this.
Sure.
He saw that Muhammad was getting interested in her.
Yeah.
So
sure.
he said.
So why are you referring
so
to?
one second.
Sure.
So he said to Muhammad, "Take my wife."
Sure. Okay, that's what I say. With all due respect, Chris, is what ignorance leads to, right? I'll tell you why. I mean that. I don't.
So
mean, I
Muhammad
don't
didn't
think
take an interest in her.
Can I answer? What you're talking about is a
He
narration.
wasn't lusting over her.
He doesn't want to finish. Maybe you can be monitoring here because you're very calm. You know, I like your calmness, right? Be calm a bit as well, right? It is not good to be like this. Be calm. I will explain to you. You'll understand. But do not feel that this is a battle. I'm not battling you. I'm explaining to you because
okay.
you have not looked. You have not looked, right? This hadith you're talking about is a fabricated hadith, according to our Muslim scholars, where Prophet Muhammad, and I'll tell you, even is logically invalid. I'll tell you why. The Prophet Muhammad one day he saw Zainab and he saw her beauty and then he lusted over her or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why this hadith is both not only in a chain of narration invalid by our scholars, but also logically invalid because she was his cousin. Is it the first time that he sees her? Oh, she's a beautiful woman, and then he feels, oh, now I'm lusting over her. She was his cousin, bro. He used to see her every time. So that shows that this narration is not only in a chain of narration invalid, but logically invalid. Now coming back to this.
The hadith was corrupted.
No. Now coming back to that. Now you're going to jump everywhere. We have many types of hadith, right? We have authentic hadith. We have weak hadith. The hadith, people in the chain of narration were liars, fabricators, and there is a missing link between one of the narrations and the Prophet. We don't know who he heard from. So it's completely unaccepted hadith, right? But they use today because they hate Islam, right? So it's not only in a chain of narration invalid, but logically invalid. Now coming back to the point. In the hadith, Zaidu's coming to the Prophet. This is what the hadith says. Zaidu's coming to the Prophet. You want to divorce Zainab, and the Prophet says, Amsik ala, keep your wife and fear Allah. Do not divorce your wife. Right? And the verse says, وَتُخْفِي فِي نَفْسِكَ مَا اللَّهُ مُبْدِيهِ. And you conceal in yourself what Allah has told you, that you will marry Zainab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet Muhammad that he will marry Zainab. Do you know why?
Who will
Because
marry him?
Prophet Muhammad will marry Zainab. He told Prophet
You can't,
Muhammad,
by
I will
the
explain.
law,
That's what I'm
marry
saying.
a
That's what I'm saying.
I will
It's two
explain.
different complete.
Guys, let me finish explaining and then you can jump in, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Prophet Muhammad that he will marry Zainab, right? What happened is that Prophet Muhammad, for fear of what the people are going to say, he did not want to do it, so he used to tell Zaid, keep your wife. And this is what the verse says. وَتُخْفِي فِي نَفْسِكَ, and you hide in yourself, مَا اللَّهُ مُبْدِيهِ, what Allah is going to show, that you will marry her. Right? Why did the Prophet Muhammad do that? Because of the saying of the people. Why did Allah want him to marry her? Because in Islam we don't have adoption. This is the verse that follows. 33 verse 40. It says, مَا كَانَ مُحَمَّدٌ أَبَا أَحَدٍ مِّن رِجَالِكُمْ. Muhammad is not the father of any of your men. We don't have adoption in Islam in the sense that you take a child and you name him after you, now you are related. We don't have that in Islam. That is in Western civilization. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to bring that tradition that the Arabs had, destroy that tradition, remove that tradition, that we don't have that. I can take an orphan. In fact, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said,
what happened in the end? Did he actually?
he married Zainab. He married Zainab after Zaid
You're
divorced her.
allowed to marry a divorced woman?
Definitely, yes. In Islam.
Well, according to the law of
In,
Moses,
in,
you can't.
in Islam is actually likely to do so. You should do so.
So why
would
would
that go
God?
against
Why
the
would
law of
God?
Moses?
I will answer.
No, all of them. Why would God?
One
go
question by a time.
No. It's the same question.
Yeah.
Why would God go against His laws and say 1 minute?
Sure.
If you divorce, I hate divorce by the
Sure,
way.
sure.
But if you divorce, you cannot marry again.
I have two logical answers.
One second. You cannot marry again until the person is dead.
Sure.
And then
but
now
that is the New Testament, not in the Old Testament, isn't it?
Both,
that is the writings of Paul.
Both.
Where is it in the Old Testament?
Both. Jesus says
In the Old Testament. You said the law of Moses. Where is it in the Old Testament?
In the Old Testament.
Where is it?
Huh?
Where is it?
I can't remember. off my-
You're assuming what you're referring to is Paul's writings. Is in Corinthians.
It's Jesus
In
speaking.
Corinthians.
No, it's in the Gospels.
No. In
Jesus
Corinthians.
spoke.
Wait. In Corinthians, I believe it's chapter 7, verse 10, if I remember correctly, or chapter 10, one of the two. This is the verse, yeah, it's chapter 7, verse 10. It's the one that is referring that if you divorce a wife, she's not going to marry, and she should not deserve divorce a wife. She cannot divorce a man, right? This is in the New Testament. He said this is in the law of Moses, right? I want to see where is it in the Old Testament. Look, I will make few points, right? He's not in the law of Moses, number one. Number 2 point, even if it was in the law of Moses, we believe in progressive revelations. There is many commandments that was only for the Jews. Number 3, look, I give you 3 logical responses. Number 3, you're assuming that this is true. That this law was applicable and the Old Testament is preserved. So this is 3 logical answers, not 1 logical answer, okay? Now,
So in other words, what you're basically saying is,
Yes.
it suits me as a Muslim.
No,
to one
this is
second.
not what I'm saying.
No, hold on 1 second. No,
Are you speaking on my behalf?
Oh no, Muslim, all Muslims' behalf.
no,
I'm
talk
speaking-
about my
I'm
behalf.
speaking on
Talk
Muslim-
about, you're a nice person, Christian.
Hold on a second.
Talk on my behalf, don't talk on my
as
friend's behalf.
a Muslim, it suits me
Yeah.
to go with Islam. Then I can marry again who I want. Because
No.
if I go with what the gospel.
Oh no! What are you
1
talking
second.
about? Marry again? Are you taking the same divorce? The woman that maybe you misunderstood. The woman that you divorce, you marry her again.
No, you can marry someone else.
Oh no! Are you saying Prophet Muhammad was not married to Zainab? This is the first time he married her. He was not married to her before.
No, I know.
Oh, I thought you meant
No.
that if you divorce a woman, you let her go and then you come back to marry her.
No.
So why is this suitable for me? This is actually suitable for the society. If a woman gets divorced and no man can, okay, her husband dies, she can marry, right? According to Paul, I think. If her husband dies, she can marry.
Yeah.
If her husband dies, she can marry.
Yeah.
According to
Yeah.
Paul. Okay, sure. If a man divorces his wife, she cannot marry again. Is that what you're saying?
Until she's dead.
According to the
Well,
Torah.
yes, akhi. Well, 1 second. So she cannot get married until she dies.
Until the man dies. Yeah.
So if I marry a woman today, 20 years old, beautiful woman, right? I don't have intercourse with her and I divorce her. She cannot marry until she dies. Are you saying this is the law of God?
Yeah. You've married her.
Chris, at least think about what you're saying,
You married
right?
her.
Islamically, you allow second marriages for the sake of these women. Who are they going to get married to? Who's
Well,
going to
that's why. That's why. That's why you have to be very careful.
Why would you separate? If you got married to somebody, why would you not?
There is.
continue
I'll
in the
give you an
marriage?
example. I'll give you a few examples, right? One of the examples, which is a problem I believe in Christianity, if you marry a woman and you're abusing that woman, she cannot get divorced. I'm hitting the woman. I'm doing all the sorts of bad things. So there is multiple
Common
reasons.
sense, that woman needs to separate herself. Yeah, and
Yeah.
through prayer and
Why is it not the case for the man?
same with the man as well. They
No,
need to separate
no.
themselves,
The man-
but they never give up on the hope that eventually God will restore
The
their
man-
marriage together.
The man can divorce if he's not happy with the wife.
No,
But
no,
the
a
wife-
man can't. No, a man
the man
can't
cannot
divorce
divorce.
either.
Where does it say that in the scripture?
Neither man or woman can
No.
divorce.
Where does it
Neither
say
one.
that in the scripture?
Again, in the Gospels of
Do you know,
Matthew,
for
Where?
example,
Jesus confirmed
Before we
the
talk
law
about-
of
before-
Moses.
where's
Before
the
you
verse
go on,
where it
You
says?
cannot
Before you
divorce
go on-
unless
Where's the verse?
for the reason of adultery.
Where's the verse that says that the reason why Moses wrote them a letter of divorce? Why did Jesus say that? Why did Jesus say he wrote them a letter
Our
of
point
divorce?
here.
It was the hardening of their heart.
Because the hardening of their heart.
Chris, listen. Chris, my point is you're making a claim about your gospel, not about my book, right? About your gospel.
Okay.
That you're saying that there is a verse that says, I would agree for the sake of argument. I have no problem. We are not with divorce anyways, as Muslims. We don't like divorce. There is a weak narration. It says, أبغض الحلال إلى الله طلاق. The most hatred, permissibility in the sight of Allah is divorce. Is the most hatred thing. Okay? That is a weak narration, but it is permissible for the embitterment of society, for women being abused, for men who are not okay. If I'm not happy with my wife anymore, I'll give you no wait. If I'm not, I know to you. If are you married? Okay. If someone doesn't lust over his wife anymore, that leads to adultery in the end. That leads to them doing adultery, right? If someone is not happy with his wife, is not lusting over his wife anymore, does not feel intercourse, does not feel like he's attracted to her anymore, what they do is they go and do adultery. So you will try to close a door, you will open another door. You will open another door of problems, right? Islamically, that's why I said Islamically is a law that is for everyone. That law could have been applicable for the Jews. I have no problem, right? We believe in progressive revelation. Today,
Yeah, you believe
women.
in all what suits you.
Today, no.
Yes, you do.
No. Not what suits me. Not what suits me. What suits the society. Any reasonable person listening, they will agree that it is ridiculous for you to say, if I divorce a woman and she's 20 years old, she cannot get married again until she dies. Anyone will agree this is a ridiculous claim, and they will tell you whose God are you talking about. I'm not going to follow a God like
Well,
this.
that's why you have to be very careful who you marry.
No, not only that.
Today, people just get married for the sake of it.
No, look. People make mistakes, Chris, right? Sometimes you see a woman, she's playing the role of, they will show you their best. She's showing you that she's lovely, she's caring. You marry her, you see all the problems in the world. You're married, you should know what I'm talking about. That is not what the woman shows you in the beginning, is the woman after you marry her, right?
That's why you have to. That's the problem with Islam.
Are you married? Are you married?
No, but
That's
I know,
why.
But I know. I know in Muslims, you see that. No.
You're not related. Oh yeah, because you're always together. I thought you were related.
Yeah, no, we meet each
Yeah.
other.
Why you always say problem with Muslim and he's giving you all the logic
I'm
and the
telling you.
solution for any and you still find it.
I'm telling you, the problem with Muslims is they meet someone.
Thank you very much. I have a problem. Why you say I have a problem?
They-
Don't say Muslims at least, right? Say the problem with this. They say the problem with this.
Okay, the problem.
This
with
is what I do, isn't it?
The problem with this is
I like
a Muslim
this. Thank you.
will meet someone
Yeah.
and they'll arrange to meet if they want to get married to them. They arrange to meet them for maybe 2 or 3 months.
No. Even more. The period of khitbah in Islam, is the period where you meet the woman, you talk to her until you feel you're comfortable enough, you know her, you understand her, and you're ready to marry her. But it's impossible for you to know anyone, and take this with you when you go home. It is impossible to know anyone until you live with him.
You're absolutely right.
Until you live with him. You will not know anyone for certainty until you live with that person. So what we say, look, Islamically, we believe in progressive revelation. That's why we don't keep the Sabbath. Do you keep the Sabbath? Okay. We don't keep the Sabbath because we believe in progressive revelation. We believe certain laws. Look, Moses was addressing his people, he was addressing the Israelites. So in Islamic understanding, we believe that Moses was sent to the Israelites. He was giving them commandments for them. Some of the commandments we still keep because they're always applicable for all times. One God, your neighbor, not to kill otherwise.
So the Sabbath is no longer applicable.
In Islam, the Quran affirms the Sabbath. They existed. It was for the Jews. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, the Sabbath was made upon those who deferred upon it, i.e. the Jews. It was not made for everyone. This is what the Quran clearly said. And that's why I'm advising you and I'm giving you today, that's definitely up to you, right? But we're all going to die one day. If it's true that Prophet Muhammad is a prophet and what he brought makes sense, it is worth for me to research and look. I'll tell you what, if you look just at prophecies of Prophet Muhammad, you will be shocked. Because it's impossible for a man to know the future, and he's not a prophet of God. Every time say the truth, right? Anyways, it was definitely a pleasure talking to both of you. No? You're nice people. You're not like the hecklers that come around here and scream and otherwise. And I hope I didn't offend you in any ways.
No.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your time, yeah?
All
See
right,
you.
thanks.